Live, tackling the topics everyone's talking about online. Share, engage, interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
And a good finally Friday to you. Welcome to Newsfeed Now. I am Aaron Nolan. This is the top of our show. I got to be honest with you. Sometimes Fridays, you just need the weekend. For me right now, man, I need the weekend. And so do really a lot of folks around the South, because this is severe weather season. And this year has shown up several times in the South. I think each of our states covered here on Newsfeed Now has had a confirmed tornado this season. Thursday in Arkansas, storms popped seemingly out of nowhere. 3 confirmed twisters hit the state. Mitch McCoy has more.
As power crews race to get lights on before dark, Lee Reed surveys what Mother Nature left behind.
That slab there is where the shop was.
Her barn and workshop left in pieces, parts of it a football field away. She wasn't home when the EF0 tornado blew through her backyard off Cleveland Road in Pulaski County.
I wasn't too far behind it, but it was raining real hard coming in from Cersei.
I was in the 2011 and 2013 tornadoes in Bologna, and I know enough about tornadoes to know I was in a tornado.
Ranger Martin says he was in front of Reed's home when the tornado hit.
And I was coming down Cleveland here, and I was doing about 15 miles an hour. It was raining, windshield wipers on maximum. I had my light on my truck, my service truck, and I was doing about 15 miles an hour, and then I just spun right, kind of like a hydroplane, but I didn't hydroplane, and it put me off in the ditch.
It was pretty scary just driving. You couldn't see anything.
Reed says Thursday's storm reminds her of a twister that damaged a chunk of her home decades ago.
1973, when the big tornado come through, it took the back. All it did was it come topped the hill. Daddy saw it, and he said, "Here it comes," and there it goes.
Leaving her thankful no one was hurt this time.
Everything else can be replaced or done without, but family and friends cannot be replaced.
Yeah, a lot of action going on yesterday. Meteorologists in Arkansas were on the air from early afternoon all the way till, Pat, what was it, 3 or 4 o'clock yesterday? 4 o'clock, so several hours they were on in Arkansas trying to bring that information. So the meteorologists were busy yesterday. Today, it's the National Weather Service. Hillary Hunt joins us now as she is following the National Weather Service around Little Rock. What are they finding right now in the damage left behind, Hillary?
Hey, Aaron, like you said, a very busy morning for the National Weather Service. I've been following them around. We already went to one area off Sibley Road here in Little Rock, which is off of I-30, where they have confirmed an EF1 tornado hit that area. Now we're at Baptist Hospital, which is off Mableville Road in Little Rock. And take a look at this. The Folsom Tree Service, very busy this morning, cleaning up all of this damage. Lots of trees uprooted. But right now, the National Weather Service telling me that this damage you are seeing right now is only due to straight line winds, but it has been a busy morning. We have been all over Little Rock. They told me, the National Weather Service said it's kind of like this activity popped up out of nowhere. They were prepared for flash flooding, which is what they were issuing, but then that weather, boom, Mother Nature exploded around 1 o'clock. And I've been so lucky to be with Dennis Kavanaugh this morning from the National Weather Service. And Dennis, this damage not as bad, but talk about what we were seeing over on Sibley Road. That was very busy time for you guys.
It was, yeah. We were looking at a path where we saw lots of trees that were lying down in a convergent path. Anytime you get trees that lie down in a path like that, you know that you're probably looking at a tornado. And we're able to estimate the wind speeds to be anywhere from 86 to 110 miles an hour with that. We saw some strange things as well. It wasn't just the trees lying on that common path. We also saw some things like a leaf embedded in the tree trunk, it's just really rare to get something that strong embedded up into a tree trunk unless you have winds in excess of 100 miles an hour. So we knew we were looking at a pretty significant piece of damage there. Luckily, nobody got hurt. Nobody was in the path of that tornado, so that's the best part of the outcome. But we did see a pretty strong signal of an EF1 tornado back there on Sibley Road.
And Dennis, what we were talking about a little bit earlier was it kind of seemed like it popped up out of nowhere. You guys were issuing flash flood warnings, things like that. And tell us how this all came about from other former storms that were in Oklahoma. Explain that.
Yeah. So Oklahoma had lots of storms overnight, and that left a remnant circulation. And that circulation moved east over central Arkansas throughout the day. All morning, that circulation didn't do anything but produce heavy rain and flash flooding. So that was by far our main focus. And there was quite a bit of flash flooding that went on. But we got some daytime heating, we got some storms to develop within that rotation, and all of a sudden we had these quick moving tornadoes. They didn't last long, but they produced damage while they were on the ground for a couple of minutes. So as these popped up, we started to get damage reports, then we issued severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings, and we had a really weird situation where right at our office it was raining really, really heavily, and then all of a sudden it just shut off. And then we got worried. We thought, what in the world is causing this to stop? And then it started raining heavy again, so we were able to relax. But that was probably a developing tornado very close to our office, and 1.5 miles away it touched down, and then we started issuing tornado warnings on that as it continued northeast. So we had a little bit of scare at our office as well as this stuff was panning out.
And a big scare for a lot of people here in Little Rock as we're going to continue to survey that damage. But like Dennis said, and he can confirm, an EF1 tornado hit Little Rock around 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Aaron, we're going to continue to go along with Dennis in the National Weather Service, and we'll send it back to you.
Hillary, thanks. We've been following the story of a historically black church in Louisiana, several of them actually, being burned down on purpose. One man is facing charges. But now the vice president is stopping by to show support. Dalford Jones has more on what the pastors are expecting from Mike Pence's visit.
Here in St. Landry Parish, what you see behind me is all that remains of Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. As you recall, the church was burned overnight about a month ago, and since then the community has really come together offering support and monetary donations.
Amen.
And now they're getting recognition from one of the country's top officials. Pastor Freddie Brown, president of the 7th District Baptist Congress of Christian Education, says the history of church burnings is well documented in this country, but the unity displayed during the cleanup process has been outstanding.
We are grateful that so many people have responded positively, and really that's the picture of America that we ought to be promoting, rather than a picture of all of this destruction and hate.
Pastor Brown, along with the pastors of the affected churches, are now expressing feelings of gratitude and honor as Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, arrives Friday to show support during the rebuilding process.
And I think it should help people to come together. We're not concerned about politics, when it comes to our relationship with God.
All right, Dalford joins us now. Dalford, the vice president, kind of give us the when, where, and how will he be visiting?
So he should be landing here at Lafayette Regional Airport at 11:20. That's at least what's on the schedule. And of course, he's coming to town to speak with the pastors and the parishioners of the churches who were affected by the arsonist Holden Matthews. If you recall, he was arrested about a month ago, and that's about the time the last church was burned. So some of the pastors are kind of in this mind frame that it's good that this time at this point in time that he is coming to bring more attention and keep shining light on this very important issue as they've scratched the surface of the rebuilding and cleanup process. At the airport, I'll flip the camera around if you guys can see. They've got everything gated off. We'll be headed back inside for a second. Secret Service and other law enforcement are sweeping the area. You can see they've got some supporters and parishioners of the churches in the area. We've got a cargo jet over here carrying the presidential armored vehicles, and of course press is back over this way. We're just waiting our turn like everyone else.
Okay, that makes sense. What do you think the vice president will be speaking about? I mean, what is his purpose, and what is his, what does he want to convey to these pastors?
We haven't heard exactly, but from what I'm hearing from the pastors, they think that it's going to be a message of unity, a message of community. The atmosphere in America, it can be divisive right now, and I think he wants to preach about, or rather speak about, being together, especially at a time like this. I mean, there's a very mixed audience here. And I think that's what they want. They want to see multiple people, multiple ethnicities coming together, and especially during this time.
What about federal aid? Do the pastors expect any federal aid?
I am not certain, but that's a good question, Matt. I'll be sure to ask them.
Yeah, that seems like maybe that the government may be coming and helping these churches out to rebuild, to get them back to that historical status they once were.
I know that would certainly be appreciated because, as you said, the historical status is something that's definitely been mentioned since the very beginning of this, since the first historically black church was burned.
All right, Delfer, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let you get back in. You got to go through some security protocol. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, how about some Friday feels? Just a good story that'll get you right here. This one is going to get you. A man in Texas is celebrating his high school graduation. Not a big deal, right? I mean, people graduate all the time. But this guy wasn't supposed to live past 5 years old. Anna McAllister has the story.
Balloons bounce around LaKedrick's bedroom. They aren't birthday balloons. They're celebrating a major milestone. The 21-year-old has completed high school.
He had graduated today. This is his last day, at the high school. He might can't say it, but I believe he's real happy about it.
LaKedrick was born with cerebral palsy. He is unable to walk or talk and needs assistance with everyday life.
We didn't find out that he had cerebral palsy until he was 6 months old. They say, he's not going to live over 5 years because kids like that don't live long.
Well, they were wrong. Beaming with pride, LaKedrick posed in his cap and gown beside his family.
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him of everything. It's a good thing that he graduated.
LaKedrick was educated at home throughout his middle and high school years. He was too sick to physically be at Union Parish High School, but he made it. His resilience inspires those around him.
We learn from him still. He's just a gift to the family. He's always where we have a smile around. He smiles and we smile.
LaKedrick's mom has this message for families with children similar to her son.
Trust God. Trust God. Just hold on and have faith.
Anna, thank you so much. Very cool story. Great to see something like that. All right, so let's wrap this show up with the curiosity of a cat. From a 55-mile journey under a car to a new home, this cat might have more than 9 lives. My Owens with this perfect story.
It was a normal road trip.
A student at UT Tyler drove from Pittsburgh, Texas to Tyler. She got to the campus, she got out of her car. On the way in, she heard the kitten under the car.
This kitten had no idea what it was getting itself into, and when the driver realized she had a hidden passenger, campus police told her to head over to Stewart's Donnybrook Automotive.
They looked up and went,
where these furry friends are no stranger.
The cars that were parked outside, the little kids get into those cars just for protection.
Once the car got here, Gary Stewart started the rescue mission.
So we get them up on the rack here, raise it up in the air, and we just start to search and find one, and we'll find it eventually.
But sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds.
You can't see them, you'll hear them, but you can't see them, and you can't reach them. You can't get your arm all the way back there.
Stewart says cars are the perfect hiding place for small animals.
Up here, on top of that motor mount, they can get down inside this frame rail.
Eventually, Stewart was able to find her.
Once they realize you're going to love on them, they just fold right into you.
And she ended up in the arms of Brooklyn Herbert.
He needs help. He needs a home.
Herbert's a family friend, an animal lover who couldn't say no to fostering the feline.
There's nothing wrong with him. He's perfect.
A true survivor searching for a place to call home.
All right, Maya now joins us live. Cute story there, but doesn't stop there, does it?
No, it doesn't stop there. Actually, what's keeping me so distracted is that little kitten, because at the end of telling that story, I couldn't help myself. I had to adopt her.
So it's yours now?
Yes. So she is mine now, and she's playing hide and go seek right now.
Are you a cat person?
No, listen. I actually am not a cat person at all. I grew up around dogs, and I've actually been afraid of cats almost my entire life. I'm just not a cat person at all. But there was just something about her. She's just so different than any cats I've ever met. Here she is right there.
Okay, there she is.
There she is.
All right. Now, okay, so you're not a cat person. I wasn't either until my wife made me have one. She didn't even make me get one. She made me have one. I didn't have a choice.
There you go.
What's her name?
Okay, so I couldn't decide what to name her, so I'm asking viewers to go online to my Facebook. I have came up with 4 different names. The KTK News team kind of helped me. It's between May, Tyler, Hitch, or Journey.
What about Newsy?
Newsy, that's a new one.
See?
No one has commented that yet.
You got to throw Newsy in there.
Okay. I will consider it. I'll consider it.
Okay. How much have you loved having this cat? I know it's only been a short time, but I've got to assume that this is a cute, fun story. But there's also you have a new family member.
I do, and moving here to Tyler, I was in this apartment all by myself, and now it's kind of like I have
a furry friend to love. You're freezing on me. Oh, what was that?
Am I still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, it was almost like what?
It's almost like a new friend.
There you go. Perfect.
It's like a best friend here in the house. She loves to play as soon as I get home. She also loves to play at 5 a.m., but it's okay because she makes it.
All right. Well, follow Mai right now on Facebook. We've got her image pulled up here. Give her a follow. We're going to start voting and help you out.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day. We appreciate you stopping by. All right, before we go, the Kentucky Derby is on Saturday, and I'm a big horse racing guy. I love the sport. Kentucky Oaks is today for the fillies, running for the lilies, but the run for the roses. The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. I'm going to give you my picks. Steve, if we can pull up this computer for me, here is the run. All the horses involved here. First things first, I'm going with number 5, Improbable. The second or third favorite at 6-1. That's not a bad price there, to be honest with you. That means if you bet $1, you win 6 in return. Now, if you are that guy who likes to bet a little bigger, you like the odds to net you a couple $100, I've got another one for you. A friend of mine's grandfather owns this horse, Long Range Toddy. Long Range Toddy was able to race in the rain in Arkansas. It's going to be raining tomorrow in the Kentucky Derby. So look at Long Range Toddy, 30-1. You bet $5 on Long Range Toddy. If I do my math right, you're making $150 if Long Range Toddy wins. So there are my 2 picks, the number 5 over the number 18. The favorite right now, I believe, let's find the favorite for you because we got a little extra time and I like talking about the Kentucky Derby. The favorite is Game Winner, 5-1, Game Winner, then Roadster, and then my pick of Improbable. Hopefully it won't be an improbable task for Improbable to win the Kentucky Derby. Have a great weekend. See you next week.